All right, so I want to just talk to you about some of the things that we envision making available to our SWAT members. And I'm going to put these into 3 different categories, okay? One is positioning. This is something that you can use to position yourself better with your prospective clients, your existing clients, whether you're trying to get new business, to get referrals, or to get repeat business. This is a positioning thing that's going to make you more attractive, right? Maybe what it accomplishes is it eliminates the cold calling or cold follow-up type of burden, right? You can go reach out to your existing list of customers and they're going to be happy to hear from you. They're not going to just think, Julie's just contacted me because she wants to renew, or Julie's just contacted me because she wants a referral. They're going to be excited to hear from you. That's one. The second thing, of course, is that new customers, anybody that you're thinking about trying to connect with, if we can make it easier for you to reach out to them, that's almost as good as it being easier for them to find you, right? Because it's so easy right now to reach out to people. The hard thing is getting them so that hard thing is getting their attention, their interest, and overcoming their defenses so that you could have maybe on your second conversation, a conversation about their needs. So what I'm thinking is that is positioning. The second category would be introducing, right? So we want to introduce you to prospective customers. So this is not so much positioning you so that you can go introduce them. This is us introducing them to you. And then the third thing I would say is connecting you with each other. Because one of the things I'm very passionate about is there are ways that the people who share customers can really lighten each other's loads and create amazing opportunities. But you have to be connected and you have to think the right way, etc. So that's something that we do. But let's focus right now on positioning, because what I want you to get, I mean, if I say to you, hey, you're somebody who works with real estate agents, can I introduce you to 100 real estate agents? You get that, okay? Or if I say we're going to introduce you to a bunch of brick and mortar businesses or a bunch of restaurants, if you're in that business, then you get it. But the thing that really makes this work, this whole magical apparatus work, is if you can use the tools that we are creating as accelerators in your marketing, right? As lubricants in your marketing or in your networking, to the point where you feel super confident that you could look at your list of prospects, you could reach out to them, and you're going to start building a relationship without them putting up their defenses of, oh, geez, this guy's trying to sell me payroll, or, oh, this guy's trying to sell me web design, or what have you, right? Because you want to be building that list, building that relationship so that you can then pluck the fruit off of the tree when you're ready. So that means positioning. So I'm just going to go through a list of what we are envisioning giving, and then I want you, as you're listening to this list, to think in terms of what else would I want, right? What else could be helpful to me? Because if it's helpful to you, if us creating this publication or this event or this video or this advertising opportunity or whatever, if that is valuable to you, it's more than likely valuable to one of our other 59 SWAT team members, right, across Northern Virginia. So that's just something that I want you to be aware of. So let's start with the lunches. Okay, so we host these quarterly lunches. That means in 12 different communities. That means every week there is a different, open to the local businesses, open to the local entrepreneurs, open to the local sales professionals, networking lunch at a restaurant in the community, which is focused on community building and potentially sharing marketing initiatives. All right. Now, if all we did was invite a bunch of businesses to that event, that would be great for you, right? That would be fishing in a stocked pond. And that would be great. So you going there is a benefit. You as a B2B business going there is a benefit. Potentially as a B2C business, them going there is a benefit because they get to network. All right? But we go a step further and we invite community leaders. We invite civic association members or leaders. We invite the parks, the elected officials, the schools, the churches, right? We invite these community influencers and leaders to the networking lunch. So that means that's not as important potentially for you unless you do association work or if you consider churches and that sort of thing businesses that you would market to. But for your for the B2C businesses, those lunches can be great opportunities to make sort of valuable community connections. And of course, we try to take advantage of that, right? We do the photos, the same kind of photos you might see after a chamber event or after some community event. We want to position our business leaders by being, pictured with these other community leaders. All right. And then we're also, of course, the part of the value of this is to spawn community initiatives and community building and marketing initiatives. All right. So the question then becomes for you as a B2C business, you could, of course, attend this event, but what if you were the host of the event? What if you were the person who was bringing all of these businesses together and then inviting all the community leaders together, and you were seen as the person who cares about small business success? Well, that's different positioning, right? That's a good thing. Let's take that another step and say, now you have in front of you in your hot little hands, you have an invitation that you can go out to businesses that you've been targeting. And rather than go in the door and say, hey, accounting firm, I would like to do your web design. You go to that accounting firm and you say, hey, I host this event on April 25th. I wanted to invite you, come by, meet some other community leaders, meet some other B2B businesses. So you have different types of positioning, right? And you have different types of bait that you can use. Now, when you give that, you can then say, they say, well, why are you doing this? Well, I do this because I care about small businesses. Here's how I help small businesses. So that is, your positioning. And then once you have that positioning, it makes it easier for you to introduce yourself. Now, the other part of positioning is that when we introduce you at the event or before the event, when somebody goes to the website, they can download our SWAT team guide of our local small business B2B people who help businesses succeed. Well, you're on that guide. So now that's an introduction to anybody who investigates the event or anybody who is who comes to the event. But your positioning is different, right? It's not just, oh, I'm a B2B business that's a member of the chamber. It's not even, oh, I'm sponsoring this event. It's, oh, I'm part of this team of people who help you with your business, and this event occurs because of me, which I guess is still sort of sponsorship. All right. So that is how the lunches work. And let me just talk to you about from personal experience. There's really nothing easier to do than invite people to a lunch. Okay. Once you've identified the people that you want to connect with, reaching out to them and one by one, guys. Okay. This is not mass email. And if it takes you an hour or 2 hours to send out 200 emails, do it. Because what you're going to do is you're going to get responses back. If you say, hey, I wanted to invite you and by the way, I have a tool that you can use to do this. And this is the tool that I use to do very quickly to knock out, 100 personal from my Gmail emails in 30 minutes, all personalized, all customized for the person. And it's boring, monotonous work, which is why I pay my 11-year-old son to do it. But it's sending out those emails so that you're going to get a response. Oh, I wish I could come. Oh, that's fantastic. Keep me in the loop. Let me know. Hey, by the way, what do you do? All those types of responses, which is what you want. Okay. So that's one piece. The other piece is the community if you're dealing with professional services, if you're dealing with home services, if you're dealing with brick and mortar, restaurants, retail, any of that stuff, then our community value card is going to be a great opportunity. Now, that may not be any value for you. In fact, I'm kind of envisioning us having a SWAT card for you. But this is the plastic kind of discount card that we are going to print up 3,000 copies of. And we are going to work with community organizations and church and schools and the Boy Scouts and clubs to have them use this as a fundraiser. So they're going to be distributing this card out into the community. Now, that's great for the people who have a discount on that card, right? The businesses, Topper's Pizza, the frozen yogurt place, the restaurants who provide a discount for that card. That's great for them. That means that there are going to be 3,000 people out there in their local, 1 to 2 mile radius community who have their card, this card that points them to a website where they can find out what their current discounts are, right? And potentially the businesses are going to have little window clings in their business that say, Fort Hunt community card honored here, or Annandale community card honored here, or whatever that is. But how does that help you as the B2B person? Well, you got to think in terms of giving gifts, okay? Nobody kicks Santa out. People who have gifts in hand, real gifts in hand, are welcome guests, and they're not unwanted pests, right? That's a line from Dan Kennedy, a marketing guru. And so when you're going out with the invitation to the event, you become Santa. When you come out and say to the Topper's Pizza, you say, hey, did you know about the community value card? Let me send you a link to this video explaining how this works. This is something that me and some of my other local business to business people put on for our community, put on for our businesses, right? Well, think about that positioning. Think about how confident you would be going into meeting a business if you were going with a gift that was possible because of you, right? Because of you and the other B2B businesses and the other businesses in the Extraordinary Business Network and Greetings Virginia, right? So what? There are lots of people. There are lots of elves in Santa's workshop, okay? Nobody complains about that. So what I want you to do is think about how that would become an accelerant and a lubricant in your marketing experience, right? And there was something I wanted to say. Okay, yeah, this is what I want. The other thing I wanted to say. Gifts have to be, the person has to be happy to receive the gift, right? You don't go with a gift and say, here's the card. Oh, it's only $100 for you to participate in it. Or, here's the invite to the lunch. You have to sit through an hour and a half condo timeshare presentation in order to listen to it. No, those are gifts that people are going to not want to receive. Okay. You're going to be seen as a cheater in the gift giving department, and that's not what you want. So these gifts have to be valuable. Now, they don't all have to be monetary value. It could be a situation if somebody comes up to you and says, hey, have you heard about MoviePass? I got this from John Victoria, one of our SWAT team members. His email signature is about MoviePass, which is this new service where you can pay, $100 for the year and you go to unlimited movies. If you want to hear a story about it, talk to me. But that could be it, right? You say, did you know about MoviePass? Do you know about Webinar Jam? Do you know about this? Helping people discover tools that are going to help them in their business is a gift. Making an introduction is a gift. Have you met Marvin Powell over at Roundtable Referral Group? He's a great person to connect with. Do you know Frank Felker from Digital Media Positioning? He could help you with your blank, right? You are giving gifts. So that's one thing. But we're just putting together, in addition to the network, we're putting together other gifts that you can use. So those are two. A third gift, I was talking to Julie Olafson from Paychex yesterday, and she just really lit up about this gift, which is in each community, we're putting together a who's who directory, right? So now this is going to be a published, guide that we're going to distribute and that you're going to distribute that says, here's, you got to meet this principal over here, and here's the guy who leads the sports league, and here's the president of the Chamber of Commerce, and here is the guy who owns the auto dealership that's been here for 35 years, and here is a very charitable whatever. So this is the who's who in your community. Now, obviously you want to be in that, right? Because of the positioning and the exposure that that's going to bring you. But just think for a second. If you want to be in that because you covet the positioning and the exposure and the introductions that come with it, then don't other businesses want to be in that? And if other businesses want to be in that, then isn't it a good thing that you are A, the sponsor, the person who has made this thing happen, and B, that you're part of the committee, you're the gatekeeper that decides who's in there, or at the very least, who's in there at what level of prominence. Now, in some cases, that might be scary. Well, wait, I don't want to be telling this person that they can't be in it. But be honest, the more prominent the person is, the less likely it is that you're going to not put them in there. So it's only the people on the margins that you might be able to help get in versus not, right? Now, we're going to talk about how that whole thing works and why somebody's in the who's who and not. And this isn't a pay-to-play situation, but what this is do we know enough about this person and about what they do and about the value that they provide in the community that they get in? Well, how do you get to know that stuff? By having conversations. And who's going to have those conversations? You're going to have those conversations, because it's those types of conversations that build trust and relationship that then lead to, you know what, I've enjoyed talking to you, so tell me about what you can do for my business types of conversations. All right? So that's the who's who. The fourth thing is kind of built into the name, which is the SWAT team, right? We have a guide of these are the businesses that can help you be successful. This is even the police need to call the police sometimes type of comment. This is even the best entrepreneur needs to call other entrepreneurs for help. So being part of that guide is good, right? It's positioning, it's exposure. So the question then becomes, do you want to give that guide out to prospective businesses? Do you want to give that guide out to your customers? Well, sure you do, because you're in it. And there's nobody else in it that's a competitor for you. And everybody else who's in it is making you look better and good. And by you giving it to them, you are giving them a gift. You are giving them a guide, a resource to help them be successful in their business, right? So that's how you need to think about these types of gifts. What else is there that you could do? We were talking at the Business Accelerator on Thursday with Chris Dyer, a personal trainer from Reborn Fitness, and we've been talking about doing this Fort Hunt Wellness or Health and Wellness Expo. And so I said, we've been talking about how to coordinate to do that. Well, what if I put together how to put on a co-produced, co-promoted speaking engagement that attracts your customers? Well, what if we just put that guide together, or that video together, or that template together? Would you be able, if you're a B2B person, would you be able to take that and say, you know what, I'm reaching out to personal trainers this week, or I'm reaching out to people who run gyms this week, or I'm going to reach out to massage therapists or chiropractors this week and give them this gift, right? You're giving them the gift, opening up their minds about how they're going to be able to put together an awesome marketing client appreciation event without having to do all the work, without having to spend all the money themselves. That is a gift. So I produce weekly content, right? Videos, audios, webinars, that address specific problems, specific opportunities that businesses run into. And that's called our Business Accelerator series. And so there's a wide array of different topics, and this is something where you can say, you know what, I watched this topic on how to use GIFs in marketing my business, and I thought this was fantastic. So I'm going to share that link with my people, right? Or my prospects. And then they get to go watch the video, have the same experience that you did, and say, this is great, right? I want to do this too. So this is really where I'm just in the business of trying to, I'll give you one more. So Dan puts on charity events, client appreciation events 4 times a year. What if you could obviously use those as a gift and give those to your customers, right? And say, well, why don't you come to this event? But then what if you took it a step farther? What if you said, listen, if you plug into this Extraordinary Business Network, you can have access to inviting people to these client appreciation events. You can have access to being a host of these lunches. You can have access to blah, 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 all of these things I'm talking about. Well, all of this is in the category of that there's a way for me to help people and have it benefit me. So what do I want from you? I just want you sharing stuff. Most of it's just inviting people to the lunches. Let that process work itself out. But like we were talking about, the who's who might be a good strategy for you, or the community value card might be a good strategy for you. Be the hero. You get an opportunity to be a hero. So take it. The other thing I wanted to talk about, is, okay, so with our Extraordinary Business Network, the purpose of that, the reason that we're doing that is, the reason that Dan is sponsoring it is because he wants to attract real estate business buyers, sellers, investors. So we say, listen, businesses, as long as our partner businesses, if you are doing these things, we'll give you specific things to do. And if you do those things, that will result in business for Greetings Virginia. If you do those things and it results in business for Greetings Virginia, then this is free for you. Now, we say to our people, we want you to put down a deposit. Now, right now, if you are a person who hears this and likes it, and you're an early bird, you're an I'm all in, you're a let's go type of person, then there's no deposit needed, okay? As far as I'm concerned, I'm going to give you the tools. You're going to go out and either do something or not do something. And if within 30 days, within probably a week, we'll know whether you're the right fit for this. And if you are, great, we'll keep moving forward. If you're not, then you're not going to be around long anyway, okay? So I see this as very much a here are the tools. But as an incentive to you, I'm going to say, listen, that's if you get it and if you're all in. If I have to woo you, if this doesn't work, well, then when you eventually do decide to join in, then I am going to ask you for a deposit. I'm just telling you right now, the free opportunity, the no deposit opportunity, is if you make a decision quickly. After that, we'll still love you. For some people, it takes a little bit longer for them to get it. Maybe that's my fault in terms of explaining and what have you. So all of that said, if you're interested, what you should do is click on the link or the button that's on this page, and that's going to get you started with the interactive interview. And then at that point, you're going to have, after you complete the interview, you're going to have access to a page that should have all of the tools that you have available to you, and it should be able to customize it so that you can track it and see how you're doing, and you can look and see how many people have visited your links and all that kind of stuff. Use them, don't use them, but the goal is to make sure that it's easier for us to see the positive results that you're creating and track those back to you. Because once you're in, you're on the clock, as far as I'm concerned. You should be either marketing and connecting people, or you're riding along and taking and getting benefit from what the other people are doing, which is something that I'm going to then have to encourage you to pay for. All right. Let me know if you have any questions. Hopefully this was valuable. A lot more. The biggest thing that you're going to want to do after you sign up is to make sure that you're coming to the new member orientation. You can look at the calendar for when that is. And there's a video on that page that explains what we do, but that's a great place for you to connect with the other B2B businesses as well as the new businesses. All right. So looking forward to working together. Let me know if you have any questions.